Welcome to another edition of the Dementia Care Partner Talk Show. Now, here's dementia care expert Teepa Snow and your host, Greg Phelps.
Hello and welcome to the Dementia Care Partners podcast. My name is Greg Phelps, and joining me as usual is renowned dementia care expert Teepa Snow. And Teepa had an interesting conversation a while ago about how you talk with or visit a person living with dementia. We've done a program on this before, but it bears repeating. From my limited experience, there's no one answer.
People want a cookbook and they want recipes for that cookbook. And I'm looking for lasagna. How do I make lasagna? Is like, well, vegetable, or would you like a meat lasagna? Or do you want to make your own noodles? Or, it basically means it's a layered dish. It usually has some liquid involved and some solids. And typically people use cheese, but not everybody. So tell me a little bit more about what you'd like it to come out like, so we could talk about that part of it anyway.
So I sort of think some people want a check the box for it.
Yeah.
Is mom or dad an introvert or an extrovert? So then you check extrovert. Do they like, but real life isn't quite like that. Well, maybe if you wore a t-shirt that says, "Hi, my name is Teepa, and these are all the boxes that I've checked," maybe we could try that. I don't know. How do you do this?
Yeah. So, you could have if you really are creative, you can actually come up with what we call a picture me, which is, what are there things about me that I'd like you to know before you spend time with me? And so, maybe I do it myself, or I do it with somebody I believe in and I know I can trust. And we create something that when people come to visit me, here's some things you should know about me. I tend to like to drink coffee or water. I'm not much of a soda drinker. So if you were to come in and say, what can I get you to drink? And I don't have language, what do you think would be helpful, Greg?
I give up. What? I just drew a blank.
You just drew a blank. On that one. So you walk in and say, "Hey, Teepa, what do you want to drink?" Because you want to be friendly and you want to visit me and be friendly. And it's like, I don't have the words. And I go, I don't know. Oh, I'm fine. Never mind. Now that was a missed opportunity. If you'd said, "Oh, hey, Teepa, you tend to like coffee or water. Which would you rather have today?" I'd be happy to get something, because I'm going to get water for myself. Coffee or water for you. Now that's a whole different way of sharing, and the visit will go better if we're both hydrated, if we're both have something in our hands to mess with while we're sitting there. But what did you have to know before we got started or realize?
I had to know that you got to make a choice, which would be one of the things. Yeah, I have to confess, I blanked out there for a moment, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because I was watching NASCAR on the weekend, and it suddenly hit me that that's something that I really enjoy. But would I enjoy that later in life? Because I wouldn't know the drivers, I wouldn't be able to follow the speed. So what if you come to visit me and sit me down in front of NASCAR and, well, you always liked NASCAR. Well, now I don't. So.
And so that's where that choice comes in. And if I know you've always liked NASCAR, I could say, "Oh, Greg, look at this. They've got this thing on. Check it out. What do you think?" But I present it as an option, not an absolute. So you look at it and go, "Yeah, I don't know what they're doing there." I could go, "Oh, it looks like they're going round and round real fast." You go, "Yeah. And if that's what happens, then I go, well, so much for that interest. And instead I say, "Hey, Greg, I walked by some bushes on the way in. You know what I saw? Hummingbirds. Would you do me a favor? If you come out and look, do you think you could tell me maybe if it's a ruby-throated or something else? Would you be willing to come look with me?"
Now you can almost always suck guys in with that, "I need a little help," can't you?
I need a little help. Yeah, I need a little help. Would you come look at something for me? And by saying, "Would you come look at something for me?" you're not committed to doing anything other than looking. So, we're going somewhere, we're engaged with one another, and I get to see what happens next. So in other words, we start off with just a basic few things. And we believe that when you come to the visit with a basic set of skill sets, I know we're going to do something, but I can't tell you exactly how it's going to go. But you want to go in with more than just one thought of what we're going to spend our time doing, because if that turns out to be a bust. Wow. What happened to the visit?
The other subject on the other topic on the same subject is overwhelming persons by having too many visitors, because I've witnessed this a few times, and the person living with dementia virtually shut down.
Yeah.
And prior to that, we had had sort of a good rapport. Right then, it was an instant shutdown.
Yeah. So I think before we make an assumption, we should do an assessment. I mean, that's always my belief about interactions is assess before you assume. I mean, don't assume anything. So I'm going to do a one-on-one visit to see how that goes. And then I'm going to propose, oh, I want you to meet somebody. Come on over here. I want you to, there was this guy over here. I talked to him a few minutes and I was wondering if you, because what I want to find out is how do you feel about adding another person to our little collection? How would it be if we went out? Oh, looks like they're playing some. Oh my heaven, is that bocce? Oh my heavens, they're playing bocce. I haven't seen that in a while. Oh, we used to watch the Italian guys play bocce, man. They're a little cutthroat. So Greg, have you ever done bocce?
Yes, and I was pretty good at it.
Were you? Well, you know what? Wonder if they'll let us play. And
Well,
so all of a sudden, I hope so. I figured out how can we spend some time and not only how do we spend time, but did I actually just create an opportunity for Greg to have a relationship with other people other than me? Did I create an opportunity for there to be new groupings, new possibilities? Wow, I'm thinking beyond my own visit, how Greg can spend time that gives him a sense of value and purpose. And it's like sometimes our minds are like so small. It's like this interaction. And it's like, well, maybe it should be, well, what does Greg need? What does Greg like? And what is he missing that he used to have? He used to volunteer like crazy. Wonder if
Deepa,
maybe
we do that. We make it through the visit. We have a great time. I show up the next time. The goalposts aren't even on the field, let alone
yeah.
move.
Oh, like I said, assess. It's so hard to walk into the situation going, I may be right, I may be totally off target. So I'm going to come in with a few alternatives here because I never know. I don't know what the rest of the day was like. I don't know whether or not whether or not they got to move their bowels last night. I don't know whether or not they're feeling the same way they were feeling about things, whether there's been a disagreement. I don't know whether the dementia's changed or the person's changed. I don't know, but I know Greg had a whole variety of interests in the past. So why should he be static and the same now? And I know I change from day to day, morning to night. Why should the person I'm visiting be any different? I mean, we get in our head somehow dementia, which is an ever-changing disability, is going to be static. And it's like, well, no wonder you get shocked if you're thinking that. I mean, the only static is electricity, if you ask me, when it comes to dementia.
Deepa, this sounds like something that I need to talk to somebody about because, as I said, the goalposts move or they're just not there one day. So what are some of I guess if I talk to a consultant, maybe I can get some of the basics on, I can win maybe prepared with 5 or 6 different things. Don't go with agenda. What am I going to be told?
Yeah, well, you might even start with looking at one of our little videos that is, making visits that are positive. And it talks about the 8 S's, if you would, which, like keep it short, keep it simple, keep it small. And then it talks about having the right sensory match. I mean, so maybe that would be helpful to you if you like to look at stuff before you talk about it. Or a consult where you say, I'm planning on visiting, and then whatever data you have, share that so that we could come up with, oh, sounds like maybe typically the person is more amber, ruby, or maybe they're more of an introvert than an extrovert. Where do they like to sit? I mean, so we'll respond back and forth until we figure out, here's a couple of options you could try. How about you try those out and then come back and tell us what happened, and we can figure out where to go from there.
Deepa, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Dementia Care Partners podcast. For more information on today's program, go to deepasnow.com.